fills up this inbox. Banks, what's up, champ? Yeah, hey, Counterpunch. I'm on the stream, y'all. Connect through. I'm about to put the joint up in now, if you want. Banks, you want to come in? Come on in. I'm still figuring this joint out. This is only the second time I've gone live. Paste. Bingo. It's there. Yeah, okay, bet. I'm gonna hit you up. My apologies. I hit you up the other day. Just a bunch of shit yesterday or day before. A bunch of shit going on. I'm gonna hit you up right after the joint. Yo, inbox me your number, or I inbox you mine. I think I already sent you my number once, so we have to keep going over freaking the DMs and shit. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, Sporting Advantage, because I'm about to go in. And we all know what's going on. It's been a lot of talk. I think Bill Haney and Mr. Gary Russell Jr. both have done like so many multiple interviews and lives on LDBC channels, Fight Hype, whatever, that it got the diehards biting at their teeth. I mean, the diehards are biting at. I mean, look, my joints is almost gone. Look, you see that? That joint's been there nibbled up, because we want the fight to happen. Real talk. Thank you, Sporting Advantage. Thank you, Banks. We want the fight to happen. Is anybody capping? I don't know. I don't care. I do believe that DAZN needs this fight as soon as possible. I don't think it's going to be November 7th. And maybe they should move it to a late November date. Because I believe Bill Haney said November 7th. And Gary Russell Jr. said, well, hold up. It's not going to happen. That's only 6 weeks. Especially knowing that Gary Russell Jr. is moving up 9 pounds. Right? If I'm not mistaken, from 126 to 135 or 130. One of the two. So Gary Russell Jr. is saying, look, if it's December 7th, I believe that fight will be made. DAZN, DAZN, PBC has monster cards coming up. Monster cards. I mean, some sick cards that we all know about. The Charlos. With Tank. Versus Leo Santa Cruz. Danny Garcia. Earl Spence. DAZN, you need something strong right now. And this fight, believe it or not, dealing with the new guard, who is Devin Haney, versus the veteran guard. Not over the hill guard, by no means, but the veteran guard, who is Mr. Gary Russell Jr. And whether he's not listed or not, the diehard fans know, the true diehard fans know, is a top 10 pound for pound fighter in the world, without a doubt. Thanksgiving would be a good day too, Banks. That'll make it work. DAZN, you need this fight. Without a freaking doubt. DAZN, make this fight happen. PBC has monster cards coming up. Cards that you really don't have the talent to compete with. And I'm speaking to DAZN USA. You don't have the talent to compete with the cards that PBC are bringing come towards the end of this year or soon, this month towards the end of the year. So I believe you guys need to, Bill Haney need to do whatever he need to do, say whatever he needs to say to Eddie Hearn so that Eddie Hearn can go to the other execs in the room and say, yo, we need this fight. For 1.5, sweet deal. And I truly believe wherever they have this fight at will sell out. Especially if you have it in the DMV. If you had it in MGM, here in the DMV. If you had it in the MCI Center, here in the DMV, that fight will sell out. Facts. That freaking fight will sell out. Although it would be boxing behind doors. That's if it's boxing behind doors. But the ratings will come for that fight no matter how it comes. It would do great, without a doubt. It would do great. Because what you don't understand is, for a fight like this, DAZN, for a fight like this one, the diehards will motivate the casuals to watch. Why? You see how excited we've been already for just the last week? Gary Russell Jr., believe it or not, although he's not on social media that often, he's a low-key marketing genius, Mr. Gary Russell Jr. He has the gift of gab that a warrior should have. Facts. Just of what he did with Leo Santa Cruz's father, which was a nice gesture to try to create a fight, because that's all it was. To entice Leo Santa Cruz to get into the ring with Mr. Gary Russell Jr. That was a whole ordeal with Mr. Gary Russell Jr. running up on Leo Santa Cruz's father. So, believe me, Gary Russell Jr. is going to do what he needs to do to promote this fight. It's already been promoted the hell out of for the last week. And the diehards want to see this fight. Because both fighters have so much to gain and so much to lose with this fight, without a doubt. So, if PBC and Al Haymon get it up, beautiful. But for what the DAZN is currently dealing with, for what the rumors are said, I don't know what is true or not. I do believe it would be in DAZN's best interest to pick up this fight. For real. Just by the sheer enthusiasm that the diehards will have for it. And for the state of boxing today, this is a fight that boxing needs. And I'm just going live, trying to figure out my new Streamlab, play with it, work it to perfection. And I want to drop this quick message for the boxing world, for the boxing industry, for the diehard fan that don't like seeing Mr. Gary Russell Jr. be put on a shelf that many feel is happening to him with the PBC. Nobody wants to see that talent go to waste. And nobody, not besides the ones that's not rooting for him in the media world, nobody wants to see a talent like Gary Russell Jr. just waste away. I believe it 100% C stands. I do believe Devin wants to fight because the lockdown has shut everything down. And Devin Haney wants to prove himself. And it's almost the perfect situation for Mr. Devin Haney because of, in his mind, young, strong, and the size of difference. He has things in his favor. He can say, okay, I can challenge Gary Russell Jr. in this piece. And it's what going to cost you? $1.5 million? If the rumors is true and the DAZN is dealing with money issues, all of you can scrounge $1.5 million out your arses real fast. All the execs, I'm sure, to make this fight happen. $1.5 million is not much to come up with. And if what Bill Haney was saying was true, then they would make the money off the back end. Let's make it happen. What's the problem? But the DAZN needs this fight. You need something to, I believe, piggyback off of what Povetkin and Dylan White provided for you. C stands. Gary Russell Jr. That's GS Jr. Gary S. Jr. No. Absolutely. Because it's just business. But of course you're going to have the people on Haney's side that is Haney fans. They want to make Haney look good to, of course, make it seem like he's capping. And that same exact fact that you presented here, C Stance, works on Devin Haney's side. Like he just can't write up a contract and send it to Gary Russell Jr. It would have to be a term sheet. They don't have the power to say DAZN, Matchroom. It would have to be blank. So to be fair to both sides. You feel me? So, but I don't see why DAZN wouldn't want to do that joint immediately. The link is in the joint for everybody. Boone, what's up? You going in on Gary? For what? Do what you do. I will be defending Gary. I'm going in on DAZN and PBC, if need be, on why this fight needs to be made happen. DAZN needs it, without a doubt. No, I don't believe he's lying. Nobody's lying in the situation. And the thing is, they both aren't. Like an example I use on Easy Work Boxing. Devin Haney has his promotional company. But that's no more. So is Gary Russell Jr. But that's no more than, say, if you're dealing in the music industry, right? In the music industry, you have a record label. Okay? In the music industry, you have a record label. But each of those record labels have a distribution company. A distribution company. Universal, Virgin, so on. So they don't have they need somebody to put their platform on. So they do not have the final say of what is going to go on. That is common logical facts. So Lions only, whatever. Lions only, great. Earl Spence Jr., great. Whether you're Deontay Wilder, great. These are record labels. I'm going to use that analogy to help people understand. There are record labels with distribution deals. So the record label doesn't need producers from the distribution company, whether it's Universal, Virgin, somebody like that. No, we don't need your producers. We don't need your masters. We don't need your engineers. We don't need none of that. We have all of that. We have our shit in stack. We need your platform to push our shit out to the world. That is what Devin Haney has with Devin Haney Promotions. That is what Wilder has. That is what Al Heyman set up. It's easy, logical. Holler, Mendez, Jeremy, what's up, champ? That's what is going on there. That's what Gary Russell has with PBC. That's what Devin Haney has with Matchroom. Matchroom is a co-promoter with Devin Haney Promotions. But the distribution company is DAZN. So they can't move on DAZN without DAZN's permission. That's the same with Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez is a record label. I'm using this analogy so you can understand. You see it in the middle of the ring, but you see DAZN there. And whose platform is he on? DAZN. Who he be fighting on? Showtime, distribution company. DAZN, DAZN, distribution company. Fox, distribution company. Or say network. That's what it is. So Devin Haney don't have the final word. Russell don't have the final word. Like C-Stance says, C-Stance, who's in the business, they have revisions they have to show to the people who run the network. Facts. So that's all Devin Haney can give to him. It's a term sheet. So Russell can't sign that fucking shit. Those networks, or should I say, to keep it simple, distribution companies, DAZN, PBC, Blase, have to be in written. Boom. It's all gravy. That's all that's going on here. I still think they're trying to make the fight. But my point is, welcome, DT3 Boom, to the podcast. I hit you up earlier. You was busy?
Yeah, I know. I know you hit me up. You can't hear me? Can you hear me?
No, I can't hear you. Hold up.
Still can't hear me?
Muted. Banned from studio. Kicked from studio. Still learning this shit. Mute. Boom. Unmute.
Can you hear me now?
No.
Still can't?
Banks, can you hear me? How much is Haney getting paid for this fight? We don't know. We just know what he offered. C-Stance. There is a process. Legal counsel takes time, but it will get done. It's just intense because of back and forth on social media, which is good. It's needed. Absolutely. Boom. Go back out and come back in.
You still can hear me?
Cam, Mike. Absolutely. Holla Mendez Jeremy, my bag. What's up, Double M? Don't argue with Mr. Two Hands over Gary Russell Jr. versus Haney. Nah, but what do you truly, where you at? What do you truly think about the fight? I think it's a magnificent fight. I think it needs to happen. It's a must for the diehard fans. A must. You feel me? Holla Mendez, I can hear both of you. Okay, Holla, so you could hear DT3 and me at the same time, but I couldn't hear DT3. Why is that? I'm still figuring this out, people. Yeah, the term sheet is not the final agreement. It's a boilerplate document of the general terms. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. D. Art Boyd.
You, mister.
You on now?
Can you hear me now?
Loud and clear.
All right, got you.
They told me, Holla Mendez said they could hear you, but I could not.
Yeah, man, what I wanted to say, hold up real quick. What I wanted to say pertaining to this whole Gary Russell thing, man. I feel like we should have the same energy with any fighter that is considered to be a marquee guy or a high level fighter. I think regardless of his race, ethnic background, or whatever his cultural background is, I think we should keep the same energy, because I feel like if this was somebody like Lomachenko talking about moving up to fighting at 140, people would be saying that it was foolish, it's not smart, it's a bad idea, and all this other stuff. But because I'm seeing Gary Russell doing it, now I'm getting like Gary Russell was this and Gary Russell was that, and this is Gary Russell was a boss, and that's what you do if you want to be great. You move up in weights. But when we see Latin fighters or Ukrainian fighters or any type of European fighter, when they move up, regardless of their skill set, the first thing the boxing community does is put them down. And I feel like we should have the same energy with everybody instead of just hyping up Gary Russell right now, but we was putting down other fighters for doing it. Not us per se, but a lot of people in the boxing community put that down when other fighters decide to move up.
Well, yeah. Well, the hell with them. I don't know who. I mean, when Rigondeaux moved up, we weren't putting down Rigondeaux.
Yeah, but when Mikey Garcia moved up, it was an issue. Hell, even when Terrence Crawford moved up to 47, it was an issue. Everybody was saying Terrence Crawford was too little and all that other bullshit. So it's funny how when it's certain marquee fighters get a bad rep when they try to move up, but they don't keep the same energy when other marquee fighters move up in weight. And I feel like we should keep the same energy.
I understand what you're saying. I don't know. Give me an example
of when fighters move up and they get fat. Usyk's perfect example, right? Usyk and Crawford, I think, are the perfect examples of when a fighter move up and then one particular fighter gets praised for moving up and the other fighter gets all this hell and bullshit for moving up. When Usyk moved up, Usyk fought a tune-up fight, right? He fought pretty much a tune-up fight to prepare himself to get ready for the weight. Am I correct? Right. So, but now all of a sudden, Usyk is getting all these top caliber heavyweight opponents. He's talking about fighting AJ and fighting all these top dudes right off the bat. And it's like, it's no question of these fights happening. Usyk is not going to take he's not going to take, what's it called? When the fighter has a mandatory step aside money. Usyk is not going to take no step aside money to let Joshua fight Fury. He wants his shot at Anthony Joshua. He's not going to take no step aside money. But with Terrence Crawford, it's not the same energy. Terrence Crawford move up, it's hard as hell for him to get a fight with a top guy. He came into the welterweight division calling out all the top names that had belts, and yet still they came up with every reason to not fight him. But here we got Usyk, who just now hit the heavyweight division, and now he's in line to basically fight for undisputed heavyweight championship of the world.
Well, you get that opportunity if you come from a champion from first he was undisputed, and I do believe since he was a champion, he was undisputed.
So was Crawford.
Correct. You know what I'm saying? But is Usyk going what they want to say inter-networks? Usyk's not dealing with inter-networks, I don't believe. Not especially not to fight Joshua.
But he's still a mandatory for the WBO, regardless of whatever networks wanna work with him or want to do business with him. He's regardless of that, his rankings in boxing he's a mandatory in the WBO, and he has the choice in this Pulev fight. If Anthony Joshua beats Pulev, he has the choice to say, okay, I'll take step aside money so you can fight Tyson Fury, or you have to fight me because I'm your mandatory for your WBO belt, and I'm not going to take no step aside money so you can fight Tyson Fury. No, you got to fight me first. And based on reports, Usyk is not trying to take no step aside money so Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua could fight. So I don't see anybody. Danny Garcia didn't exercise his right for the WBO belt. He didn't exercise his right at all. But now everybody wants Terrence Crawford to try to exercise Sean Porter's right as number one in WBO, but wasn't nobody having that same energy with Danny Garcia. It's funny how nobody got that energy with Danny Garcia or Keith Thurman, but they got that energy with Sean Porter. Just like I said, we need to keep the same energy with all fighters, not just this particular group or one particular fighter or two.
Cool. And I agree. But let me ask you a question. That's another discussion or conversation. I get where you're coming from. You know what I mean? Well, so what does that pertain to Gary Russell Jr. and Devin Haney?
What I'm saying is the Gary Russell Jr. and Devin Haney fight, right? Let's say Mikey Garcia never fought Errol Spence, right?
Hold on 1 minute. Hey, Jeremy, Holler Mendez. Jeremy, I don't know why I can't add you into here. All I see is I see you, but I don't kick from studio. Try to come back in here again because I don't see it's just showing the box and it's just giving me the options not to add you to the studio. It's just saying kick from studio or ban from studio. So I don't know. Try to come back in. Go ahead, Deep. Boom.
So what I'm saying is, if the Mikey Garcia Errol Spence fight never happens, right? If it never happens, and then all of a sudden we get this Gary Russell Jr. Devin Haney fight. Now, guess what? Everybody is going to have the same energy they have right now for this fight. Everybody's going to say how it's a great fight. It should happen. We stoked to see it. Gary Russell moving up. He's daring to be great. Devin Haney could lose this fight. It's a good fight for Devin. It's a marquee name for Devin. All that, right? Now, Mikey Garcia, who is a top caliber opponent, he's beat some decent names in boxing, and made the choice to move up 2 weight classes to fight Errol Spence.
Right.
And when he did it, it's weight classes for a reason. He's food for Errol Spence. Now Errol Spence.
But he was picked by Sugar Ray Leonard to win. Everybody didn't have that. The people who pushed that out was who? The people who pushed that narrative that you're talking about is who? It's a lot of people. It's a lot of people. Not just them, though. It wasn't just them. It was a lot of people that came to my channel and had a lot to say that wasn't on that particular side of the fence. Right, but don't remember? Let's remember this, though. If you don't remember, even Robert Garcia didn't think he should move up. You don't remember that? Yeah, I remember that. His own brother, manager, or brother trainer said, I don't think so. There was a lot of people saying that. So if he got even people on his tight knit, his direct saying we don't think so, then isn't that going to then create a fire with everybody else saying that? But you don't think nobody told Gary not to move up to 140 and stay at 135? Gary Russell was only 5'3", 5'4".
How many people you see about 5'3", 5'4", maybe 5'5" at the most at 140 pounds as successful?
He ain't fighting 140.
So you mean to tell me he gonna fight Devin at 35? I thought they was gonna fight at 40.
No, they're fighting at 35. A 9-pound difference. Because he fights at 26.
But he moving up to 130. He said he's not fighting at 26 no more because everybody that he wanted at 26 moved up to 130 and 135.
Right.
And that's
so,
what he was paying at is 130 and 135. But I thought Devin, if he wasn't gonna get the Tiafimo fight, he was gonna move up to 140. Because last time I checked, Devin Haney really ain't doing nothing at 35. He trying to go up to 40.
Moving up. I believe this. If I'm not, somebody in the chat, this is going to be a fight at 135 because Lomachenko, if he beats him, if Gary Russell Jr. beats your boy at 135, then that makes him a mandatory for who? Lomachenko.
For Lomachenko, the winner of Lomachenko and Tiafimo.
That's who he wants to rematch with. So it's going at 135, not 140. Haney ain't at 140 yet.
No, Haney said if he can't get a fight with Lomachenko or Tiafimo, he's moving up. That's what his dad said. If they can't get a top caliber opponent at 35, they was gonna move up to 140. Shout out Fight Hype.
Well, guess what? He got one coming from 126 up to meet him.
Yes. Is it cool
So,
outside?
You know what I'm saying?
Hold on real quick.
Jeremy, holla. I don't know why it wouldn't allow me to add you. Maybe your phone or maybe not equipped with it. I'm not sure, buddy. But it wasn't me stopping it, bro. I would have let you in a heartbeat. I tried to. My thing is, what does DAZN have to lose? That's good. I'm gonna start using banners, topics of discussions I would like to get on. My next banner: what does DAZN have to lose with this fight? You chime in. Boom.
I don't think no promotional company has anything to lose with this fight. I don't think DAZN has anything to lose. I don't think PBC has anything to lose. I don't think any of them have anything to lose with this fight.
That's why
I think DAZN has a lot to gain from it based on where they at. Because honestly, PBC right now this year, because DAZN last year, I ain't gonna lie, 2019 DAZN smashed. But I think 2020 is the year of PBC. PBC is really doing a thing in 2020 for everything that's going on with this pandemic and everything. PBC and even Top Rank is still keeping boxing relevant. It's still keeping us, watching some type of keeping us distracted from all the nonsense that's going on in the world. So we got to give props to Bob Arum, Al Heyman, and all those of Top Rank and PBC because they still keeping the fights going. They're still keeping the boxing going.
Right. And so, especially on the second half of the year. Hey,
right.
Lock, edit your comment. Ain't nothing changed. No disrespecting nobody in the chat. Like that. You can say what you feel, but shut your fat ass up. No, we don't need that, Lock. All right? Okay, you just nicen up a little bit. You funny. Mick Hennessy is cool. And Mick Hennessy, we need to have two hands here. But Mick Hennessy, yeah, he supports the channel. He's cool. Damn, Locke, you come in just blazing. I love you though. Appreciate you. You're still a knight of the Praetorian. But no, that DAZN needs this fight tremendously. And
I think DAZN needs it more than PBC.
Well, here was the other banner. You just came in. That was the banner I already had up earlier.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and we will stay on that since you just reiterated already what I was talking about earlier. DAZN needs this.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Like what major fights are they doing? I mean, BT Sports finna have Yard fighting and they I ain't gonna lie, BT Sports promote the hell out of their fighters, man, that they got a lot of interest in, man. And right now, Anthony Yard is all over YouTube right now.
Yeah, definitely. Anthony Yard, he they're definitely capitalizing off the marketing that's been done for him. I think
Right.
it's marketing himself well. The coaches marketed him and himself and Yard well, and Yard became just very popular quick. So I don't know what much was going on with the Yard business and everything.
Well, Yard got a fight coming up. He's fighting some dude. I forgot his name, but he got a fight coming up, and the guy that he's fighting doesn't look like. I want to see Yard fight Buatsi, man. Until Yard fights Buatsi, I'm kind of like whatever with Yard right now. You know what I'm saying? Until he fights a guy like Buatsi.
Yeah, and Yard has, unless he's worked on his serious flaws, he might take a nail.
Oh, and just on that, I gotta say this too, because I want to touch on that Buatsi situation. Tunde Ajayi said himself via Boxing Social, shout out Boxing Social to cite the source, stated that if Buatsi keeps winning and the fight makes sense, we'll see about it. So right here, right now, Tunde Ajayi and Anthony Yard and his team have no interest in fighting Joshua Buatsi, regardless of what he's done and the noise that he's made so far. Basically, Tunde Ajayi is going about it as if Buatsi needs Yard, Yard doesn't need Buatsi.
Yeah, that would be wrong. That would be wrong, especially with Yard losing his last fight to a jab.
But they saying because he went and fought Kovalev, like that's the politics they playing with that now. Oh well, we went to Russia. Who you say will go to Russia and do this? So now they're using that as a political move to propel themselves and make themselves look more than what maybe they really are.
Absolutely, and that's what everybody's doing, and that's what people are trying to say. Some people try to say Devin Haney was doing. To where he jumped into the issue with Gary Russell Jr. and Terrence Crawford were making that offer. But look what it spawned up. Look what it brought. So everybody's doing that. I just want to add to the momentum to get this fight going. Real talk. I want to add to that momentum. I'm going to keep talking about it. I think everybody needs to collectively I'm talking about the whole YouTube boxing community, to really talk about pushing this fight. Because for one, it will help the zone. Number two, it is an excellent fight. Devin Haney has a size advantage, yes, but he doesn't have the experience advantage. And I do believe this will be the first fight Devin Haney will go into where he's not the fastest of the two. What you think?
But who is the biggest opponent? And when I say biggest, I don't mean like brawn. Tallest. Who's the tallest opponent, mainly for Gary Russell? How will Gary Russell fare against a guy who's maybe 3 to 4, maybe?
But he's been dealing with that his whole career.
As tall as Devin Haney, taller than me.
Yeah.
Taller than Gary Russell.
Yeah.
That's a big size difference.
Okay, then.
That's a big size. What I'm saying is the strategy of the fight would have to be different. Gary Russell would have to utilize certain tactics that he would not use at 130, and even with 135, because to be real, Devin Haney is a big 135 pounder. Him and Teofimo. Them two dudes are big 135 pounder. The only person I believe is a natural 35 pounder is Tank Davis. Out of most of the 35 pounders, the one that you can say that's like naturally for 35, I would say it's Tank Davis and even Gary Russell Jr. because of his size. I would say those two are, you could say, are natural 35 pounders. But Teofimo, Devin Haney, them dudes are natural 140 pounders, and towards the latter of their career will more likely end up at 47. Those dudes are not going to end their careers at 40. They go end their careers, I promise you, at 47. Those are big guys to Gary Russell.
If Gary Russell's been okay, so what was the height of Floyd Mayweather when he fought Diego Corrales? Or what was the height of each of them?
Floyd was 5'7", Diego Corrales is 5'9".
Diego Corrales is 5'11", 6 foot.
He about 5. Yeah, he about 6 foot. Yeah, 5'11", 6 foot.
What's the difference?
The difference? Let's see. Diego Corrales is no Devin Haney, skill-wise.
I
For
agree.
one.
I agree. And but we
Diego Corrales got a lot of heart.
from what it looked like. From what it looked like, yeah. He don't look like outside. It don't look like he had the skills of Devin Haney. I already said that on Easy Works joint. But what else? Who is name me somebody Devin Haney fought that was on the level of boxing skills of Gary Russell Jr.
That's what makes it a good fight, because neither one of them, either one of them has fought anyone of the skill set or the caliber of either one of them. Devin Haney hasn't fought nobody of the skill set of Gary Russell, and Gary Russell hasn't fought nobody of the skill set and size. It's not just that. I'm not just on Devin Haney.
Russell, hold up, boom. You just stepped. You put your foot in your mouth. You say Gary Russell ain't fought nobody the skill set
and his size in one. I'm talking about in one whole package. Who has he fought that is Devin Haney's size and skill set? Nobody. Devin Haney hasn't fought nobody that has the skill set of Gary Russell. He hasn't fought nobody like that. So that's what I'm saying.
Is Devin Haney okay? So fuck the size, okay? Because like my uncle said on this live, that shit don't mean nothing to a fighter. You break a fight, and you in fight game, you know this. Size don't mean shit to somebody who's a superior fighter, because the fighter's going to break his opponent down to his size if he's bigger. That's how it works. So, mind you, Gary Russell did fight to a split decision, lost to Lomachenko. That was Lomachenko's second fight, I believe, when he came out of pro. And he picked Gary Russell Jr. for a reason. Lomachenko just won 2 gold medals off the second. Why would he pick Gary Russell Jr., of all people, to fight immediately? Why? Because he knew, and the boxing world knows, that Gary Russell Jr. is that good.
I'm not saying he's not good or even that good, but what I'm saying is I've watched Gary Russell. Gary Russell is a pure boxer. He can bang when he wants to, but Gary Russell is a pure boxer. You don't want to bang with a person of a Devin Haney caliber. You don't want to bang with Haney. I'm telling you, you don't want to bang with Haney. You don't want to bang with him.
Who says he's going to bang with him? This is boxing.
How would you going to get on the inside? Devin Haney is a defensively sound boxer. Does everything off the jab. He's not going to get caught with stupid shit. And also, Gary Russell has to punch up more to get to Devin Haney, because Devin Haney is just going to constantly be on the defensive against Gary Russell. It's going to be so hard for Gary Russell to catch Devin Haney because of the size difference. Just that alone will make it difficult for Gary Russell to catch Devin, because he's too short. Watch, he'll shoulder rolling the whole night. I'm telling you, he's going to shoulder rolling the whole night. Night.
He will try to. He will try to. And
what is Gary going to hit him with? What is he going to catch him with? Now, Gary Russell technically has one of the fastest hands, if not the fastest hands in the sport. But what is he going to catch him with?
Haney's going to have to come to Russell, though.
Why? How? Why I'm the bigger guy. Why do I got to come to him?
Why? Because he the one who pushed the fight to go happen.
But so I'm franchise champion. Why do you coming for what I have? I'm not coming for what you got. You coming to take what I got.
No.
So you need to come to me.
No, but you're not making sense. Who made the offer?
So because of the offer,
I'm saying who made the offer?
What does that have to do with the fight?
It's just who made the offer?
So the fight, because I made an offer,
want to answer the question.
Determining how the fight is going to turn out.
You're avoiding the question. Who made the offer to who?
Last time I checked, Gary Russell said he was making the offer to Devin Haney.
Already, so Gary Russell made the offer to Devin Haney.
That's what I was under the impression of, that he threw the offer.
So are you just under the impression, or have you done the research and watched the videos?
So
you don't know what's going on.
I do know what's going on.
Then I'm asking you, who made the offer?
But you're on your Gary Russell hype with what's going on.
I'm saying
I'm not on Gary Russell hype with what's going on.
Gary Russell don't have no hype. Devin's getting all the hype. So I'm saying, who offered the fight to who?
Gary Russell, since we own stats, Gary Russell came and said he sent out an offer for 1 point. He wanted $2 million for Devin. He said that was business, right? So then, hold up. I'm answering your question.
But you started off wrong already. But go ahead.
Let me answer your question. I'm telling you what Gary said. You telling me probably based on the art. I'm just telling you what I know.
No, you saying what you had the
Let me
impression
finish.
of. You say you had the impression of. So that means you didn't see directly.
That's what Gary said. That's what Gary said. Gary said he sent out, he want $2 million for Devin Haney. He want 1.5 for Crawford. Then Devin Haney's dad came forth and said it was a terms.
That's not what happened.
Terms. There wasn't no contract sent. It was only terms.
That's not what happened. What happened was Gary Russell Jr. was going back and forth with Terrence Crawford. Gary Russell Jr. told Terrence Crawford that, yo, I'll fight you for 1.5 million. And since it's personal now, you say you'll break my neck and all this shit. After Terrence Crawford made the reply to Mr. Gary Russell Jr. over the instance that Mr. Gary Russell Jr. and Terrence Crawford had when they was amateurs, when Gary Russell Jr. punched Terrence Crawford in the mouth.
I know about that.
Okay, so let me finish. So once your boy, after Gary Russell was talking, right in the middle, he was talking to Terrence Crawford, saying, I'll take you 1.5. Boom. Your boy, Devin Haney, tweeted, well, shit, I got 1.5 million for you. Come over here. Gary Russell replied, look, Slim, I'll offer that 1.5. You on your way?
Yep.
All right, bet. I'm on the line. All right. Your boy Gary Russell said, hold up. That offer wasn't to you. That was to Terrence Crawford. That's personal between me and him. This is still a business. For you, $2 million. Then, boom, they would say, blah, 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 blah. He said, okay, you know what? I'll take your 1.5 million. Just make sure there's no extra stipulations inside this shit. Blase, blase. But your boy, Devin Haney, made the offer to him. So what my point is I'm trying to say is, Devin Haney made the offer like, yo, come and fight me on DAZN. I'll give you 1.5. Come on, let's get it. So Devin Haney, since making the initial offer, I believe it's on Devin Haney to go ahead and prove, like, yeah, I'm going to beat this Mr. Cap ass. So why? Because Devin Haney is still trying to get respect, but it's premature. He don't got the, should I say, diehard fans' true respect, not genuinely, that Gary Russell Jr. has, which is why everybody's been dodging Gary Russell Jr. Now, everybody's been dodging Devin Haney too. So both of them like, hey, since I can't get a fight, you can get a fight. We'll make this happen. And that's where we at right now, champ. You feel me? But Devin Haney made the offer to Mr. Gary Russell Jr. of this 1.5 million. And as he, should I say, intercepted the talks between Gary Russell Jr. and Terrence Bud Crawford. And anybody, if I'm wrong, anybody in the chat, please correct me. And Jeremy, try to get in here again. And what's up, Babs McKenzie? How you doing? Raphael Dawkins, Combat Radio, how you doing? Sip Bud, how you doing? Peace and Pugilism. And all y'all, my bad for being rude. Bernardi Pierre Lewis, Peace and Pugilism. We getting the groove back on. I Smith, Peace and Pugilism. Haney got the belt, so Gary Russell Jr. is going to have to come to him and press the fight. Not necessarily. He will have to do that in a sense. I'm going to tell y'all, agree with y'all in a sense. He will going to have to go and press the fight because it's going to be on DAZN. Now, I agree with y'all 100% there. But Devin Haney, this is not a fight that Devin Haney needs to try to look pretty. I think this fight needs to be a classic. I think they both need to go ahead and make this a dog fight. And if that's the case, Devin Haney, in your respect to what you're saying, Boone, he's bigger, stronger naturally. So he need to go ahead and beat up and try to knock out Gary Russell Jr. So in order to do that, he's going to have to come after Gary Russell Jr. That is my counter to what you're saying. That's all I'm saying. And I'm done. He put the joint on mute.
Looking for my charger.
Yeah, it's all good. So that's why I think Devin Haney is going to go after Gary Russell Jr.
I don't think Gary Russell is going to go after. I mean, Devin Haney's going to go. There's no reason for him to go after him. For one, like I said, Gary Russell is coming up in weight. He's coming to his house. He's coming to his domain, and he's coming to take what Devin Haney has. Devin Haney isn't coming to take anything from Gary Russell. It's the other way around.
Yeah, he's
so
coming
I
to
mean,
take respect. He's coming to take the DMV respect. That's all Bill. That's what Devin Haney said in the tweet. I come to take that I want that DMV respect. I want to own the DMV. So I think he will come in there and try to bully Gary Russell Jr. And I think that will play into Gary Russell Jr.'s hands. I think that's my opinion of how the fight going to happen. How I think Devin Haney's mindset will come in. Not saying that will happen, but I hope it is. But you have great points, bro. Yeah, Gary Russell Jr. is definitely at a reach disadvantage, but that's what that body's for. That's what that body's for. And this is where this fight is so interesting and so awesome because motherfuckers want to see how this shit going to bang out. It's an interesting fight. It's intriguing. Veteran versus youth, skill versus raw up-and-coming talent, blase. Well, skill and talent and speed versus
Gary is still, you can still say Gary is still in his prime though. Physically, he's still in his prime. He's not. Yeah. He's a savvy veteran. He's not like a dude that's on his way out. He's not a dude that's looking for his last 2 or 3 fights to get out.
Over the hill. Not saying over the hill. I say a veteran. A skilled, seasoned veteran. That's what I mean. Not over the hill at all. He's not nowhere out of his prime. He's trying to get this fight on and the rest of his fights before he goes out of his prime.
So we still haven't seen technically the best Gary Russell. Still haven't seen it yet. We're still waiting to see it. But I still don't see him beat Loma, even though he had his reasons why he lost to Loma and all that. Maybe if he fight Loma at a heavier weight, it'd be different. I don't know. But I mean, Loma fought Gary like when nobody was really talking about Gary like that. Like Loma fought him. Loma knew how good Gary Russell was before everybody else did. And what's frustrating me also, and I have to say this, what's frustrating
me. Loma got, no mean to cut you off. Loma got dropped that fight and it wasn't counted.
Mm-hmm. But also, what's frustrating me is that prior to get Loma fighting Gary, and everybody was talking bad about Gary before that he was talking about Devin. Before he was talking about Devin and all that, everybody was going bad on Gary Russell. And even I was bigging up Gary Russell. You was the one that you did the interview with Gary Russell when everybody was talking bad about Gary Russell, about Tank Davis and all that. And then now all of a sudden, when he calls out Crawford, now everybody loves Gary. But when Gary was on his Tank hype and Leo Santa Cruz hype, everybody was giving Mr. Gary Russell Jr. a hard time. But now when he talks about Crawford, now all of a sudden,
then why?
Now everybody loves him.
Why were they doing that? It's the media machine that's what? Promotion, right? You're absolutely right. You got a great point. But I'm not worried about that. I want to see why. I want to this fight. I want to understand why this fight not be done. I want to, pardon me, make sure this fight gets done. And I'm going to do whatever I can to push it. Period.
I think the fight gonna happen. I think the fight's gonna
happen. And I think
it's gonna happen. And with this fight happening, I think it's gonna also prove that the networks, when they want to get their act right, and when there's fighters that they don't really have too much invested in, they don't have an issue with making the fight happen at a very quick pace. And then also it proves that you can sell a fight or make a fight happen through social media, because there were people that were saying that, oh, you can't make a fight through social media and all that. But Gary Russell has proven that you can make a fight through social media. And also just to prove that when two fighters really want to fight each other, the fight will happen, regardless of what side of the street they on. The fight will happen when two fighters want to fight each other, because Devin Haney is obligated to DAZN right now and Gary Russell Jr. is a PBC guy, and these two dudes are in talks as if this fight is really fit to happen, and it's on the verge of being in a position where we may see a Devin Haney Gary Russell Jr. fight this year. So
yeah, and I hope no later than late November, early December. It needs to happen. I should say a good fight either way, but more than likely it's going to have a devastating ending for either guy going to go to the cars. More than likely it is. You know what I'm saying?
right.
It ain't gonna be that devastating, not Smith, because you know what? We're gonna have a rematch calls, baby. Too inactive. Man, everybody's inactive right now, Gary. Nobody's been brought to Gary Russell's level because nobody's been fighting for the most part. Jeremy, let's try to get you in here again, man. Look, every time I'm hitting on your joint, Jeremy, it's not giving me the option to let you in, and I do not have a clue why, brother.
I mean, I still got my issue though with how everybody all of a sudden is just like hyping Gary Russell all of a sudden. Like, yeah, like I said, just about a month ago, 2-3 months ago, Gary Russell, everybody was talking about he was clout chasing, and now everybody loving Gary Russell, and it's just like he's still the same guy.
It depends on, well, yeah, but it depends on who he's trying to fight. So you seeing on the clout chase, you seen that when it was going against Tank Davis, right?
But you know Gary Russell want to fight Tank Davis though. He not jawsing. He ain't just blowing smoke.
But we know the relationship between the LDBC, Blase, and Tank Davis. So of course he's going against friction there. He's going against the grain, right? We know what the LDBC do, eh? And I ain't hating they hustle, but they promote Deontay Wilder, Spence, and Tank. One in heavy, one in middle, one in light. We all know those three guys. So if Gary Russell's going against one of them, Tank, then no, we got to go ahead and knock down Gary Russell Jr. That's all that is. It's just that freaking simple. It's that simple. But now it's not an issue with going against Tank. It's Gary Russell calling out somebody from who?
But they're not gonna put Tank in there with nobody that has the potential to beat Tank.
Yeah, but I'm saying they're all supporting Gary Russell now because it's PBC versus DAZN. It's just that simple. Yeah. So that's why Gary Russell has.
It was PBC versus DAZN when it was Wilder and Joshua, and we saw how that went down.
Right. So there it is. It's the same thing. So
but this fight is more in the sense that could be made. Like the Wilder Joshua fight could have been made through social media because both. Well, I wouldn't say both guys, but Wilder was saying his little things through social media. Hell, Fury was saying shit through social media. Everybody had something to say about Anthony Joshua at one point in time via social media before Fury beat Wilder. And yet, still, that fight didn't resonate the way that this Gary Russell Jr. and this Devin Haney fight is actually finna happen. So it's just funny to me how all of a sudden it didn't work for certain people, but then it was clout chasing on one end, and then all of a sudden now it's like genius. So I just find that weird. I just find it a little disturbing.
Man, that's the boxing business. It is. Hey, Jeremy, it wouldn't let me add you again, bro. And my 100% apologies. I don't know what's going on, bro. I don't know why it won't let me add you, champ. Inactivity. This is your excuse. Gary is older. And Mick Hennessy, you talking to old Sip Bud? Babs made me go from 6 to 12. What you talking about? Y'all got Emmanuel Awala, Peace and Pugilism. How you doing, champ? And all right, keep it boxing, boys. We definitely will. We definitely will. Okay. I've again found out a way how to get this freaking StreamYard. I'm going ahead and download this shit so I can personalize this fucking format?
To answer your question, Babs, I don't think the Leo Santa Cruz and Gary Russell Jr. are not going to fight each other. Gary Russell Jr. more likely at this point, he's put himself in position, and he's put himself in position to, in a sense, be one of the top dudes at 135 right now. He's not a guy that's looking to fight Leo Santa Cruz right now. He's looking to fight a guy like Devin Haney and Lomachenko based on what he's saying. So I don't see a Leo Santa Cruz and Gary Russell Jr. fight happening no time soon. Babs asked a question that was a Leo Santa Cruz Gary Russell Jr. fight going to happen? Do I think it's going to happen? And I don't think it's going to happen because Gary Russell Jr. in a sense, and it might as well say, put himself in position to be one of the top 135 pounders in the game right now. So I think that fight just not gonna happen, and I think Gary Russell Jr. just gonna focus on Haney and fighting Loma. I don't think Gary Russell is gonna fight Teofimo because Teofimo has already came forth many times and said making 135 has been a struggle for him, and he's already talking about moving up to 140. So I really see Teofimo in the next year, probably maybe year or two. He's not gonna stay at 135. He's gonna move up to 140. So I see Gary Russell Jr. being one of the top dudes at 35 right now.
But peace, Cattle Punch. What's up, Kurt the Don?
Kurt DeVille.
Y'all better behave in the chat. So, I just know I got to come up. This is joint. I ain't gonna do this for a live. I gotta do this on a personal 10-minute destroy rage joint to push this fight. I'm gonna keep that compressed. I gotta do a hollow tip on this joint. But I'm gonna get, like I told Kurt a couple of days ago, I'm gonna have Gary Russell on. You hear me? So, and I want it on a, I'm gonna use Kurt, have you I'm gonna call you again after the joint. But Kurt, go ahead. Since you got your joint, go ahead and download the what you call it to your phone. Kurt, download the Streamlab to your phone because you can do it from your phone now. So when we do the joint or whatever, you know what I mean, we could connect the joints so that when we do bring and Boone as well, because that's what I told you, I prefer all three. When we do connect all three, we could bring the max amount of people in here. You know what I mean? For Gary Russell Jr. to go ahead and get that joint popping.
Well, I'm gonna go get up out of here. I gotta get to work.
Me too.
Thank you for having me, man. Appreciate you. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man.
My neck hurt. Yeah. Thank you. Peace out to DT3. The Boom Man. Please subscribe. MBBC all day. Great show to have. CPN. Who is this? CPBN. I was about to end this joint in a minute, but come on, Slim, and talk. Add the stream. There you go. Oh, that was you.
That's an abbreviation, brother.
What's
How you
going on,
doing,
champ?
Man, not a lot. Everything's good. I just got off a live stream myself.
Kurt.
So, what's up, bro?
Hey, Kurt. Whatever the same thing that happened to DT3 first time is happening to you now. So, as far as I can hear you, I do not know why. But the crowd, the chat, and the live stream, you can. Go out, come right back in.
All right.
So, I don't know. Oh, okay, Jeremy. Now, whatever you did, you're right. You came in. Can you hear me? Jeremy. Talk.
Testing.
1, 2, 3. Counterpunch the logic. How's life been? How was your Labor Day, champ?
Man, the Labor Day was what day was that?
Slim.
I
I was
think
at
it was
Ocean
good.
City.
What day was that? Monday? It was Monday, right?
Of course, Labor Day weekend.
It was a fucking shitty day, honestly.
It was.
Yeah, it was a shitty day, man. I got fucking bombed like Pearl Harbor.
So you got smashed.
I got fucking smashed. I got bombed. I got attacked. I got a cyber attacked. I got cyber bullied. Motherfuckers hit my ass like it was fucking December 7th, 1941.
Are you fucking serious? Over what?
I kid. I wish I was, but I am not.
Cyber attack. That's why you ain't made no videos or something?
That is correct.
Because I ain't noticed. What? And you have no fucking clue. So what's going on?
I have a clue. You had no fucking clue. I had no clue when it happened to me. I do now.
Hold up. Okay, let me get a drink for this shit right now.
Hey, cheers, motherfucker. Yeah, man. Yo, it was yeah.
What the fuck? So, I mean, how does that work, Slim? A cyber attack. So what are you doing with the channel?
No. I mean, I woke up Labor Day. That was Monday, right?
Yeah.
You know, uploaded was putting a video out there, and they were like error message. Like, what the fuck? Error message? You know. And then great collab. Yeah, Babs. Yeah, thank you, Babs. Appreciate you. It was I found out that I fucking had 8 strikes. 8 copyright strikes, bro. Yeah, like I said, I was bombed like Pearl Harbor. These people,
eight copyright strikes from where?
You know what? They know who they are.
You was getting too big.
Yeah, pretty much. They like, yeah, you know, you remember Belly? Hey, you remember Belly? You remember Kane and Belly? Kane and Belly was like, yo, he was eating that banana and shit.
Yeah, I don't like that shit.
I don't like that shit.
One bit. That's some fucked up shit, bro. So what are you doing?
Yeah. I'm gonna drop down this motherfucker. That's exactly what happened, bro.
So what did you contact them?
Oh yeah, I contact.
I mean, like YouTube or what you need to do?
Oh yeah. So yeah, it's, you know, that shit's in the mix. You know, it's in the mix. So that's pretty much how I dealt with that. It's in the mix. So we'll see what happens. But I'm gonna tell you, that never happened. And I've talked to OGs, triple OGs, you know, and they were like, yo, I mean, I talked to everybody from, you know, from Batman to Hatman, you know. So it was one of them things, like it's what happened to me was really nobody ever done. That was some Julius Caesar shit. It was some Jesus Christ of Nazareth shit.
8
it was
fucking
that
strikes at one time, Slim. That's
one
crazy.
Time. Bam. Shout out, Kurt. What's up, brother? You know, this is a small sector, so I get it. And I had to explain to what people don't know what the difference between jealousy and envy. People think that's the same thing. People think that's the same thing, but it's very.
Hey, bro. People, they're not the same thing.
No.
Why just an hour and a half ago, I asked my girl this question. about some shit was on YouTube.
Right.
About some questions some people asked me. And I'm like, why would a person ask you that? She said jealousy. I was like, well, that's kind of hard. Do you think it's envy more? She was like, That's because I told her jealousy and envy are not the same thing. I think envy is the precursor to jealousy.
Well, yeah.
More or less. Do you agree or no?
No, I agree. You know, if you're saying the precursor is a result of, let's do this.
Envy.
Let's give two examples. Let's give two examples of what jealousy and envy is. I'm gonna take myself an example. I'm dating a girl. Let's call her Viviani. All right. I'm dating a girl named Viviani. This is an example of jealousy. I'm dating Viviani, and I see a guy come up to our table. We're out eating at a restaurant, and he comes up to my table and he says, "Hey, how you doing? You have a beautiful girlfriend." And she's like, "Thank you." Right? And then he starts cracking jokes, and then she starts giggling. She starts giggling like out of control, to the point you're like, "Well, damn, it ain't that funny." What do you mean?
Right.
You know. So then I feel jealous. But why do I feel jealous? Because this guy has made her laugh more than this girl probably has laughed all week with me, more than likely. But what do you know what that means? That I fear what that guy can take from me.
Correct. That's exactly what happened. This is exactly what the freak happened. Well, I mean, envy. That's telling her. You know what I mean? And I was like, and then and me and the person is tight. I was like, man, I don't know why. You know what I mean? This is that way. You know what I mean? Maybe, I guess it's the laws of attraction. Shit. I don't know. But it is what it is. But damn. So, okay. So, till that shit get up, you know what we got to do then.
No, you're in there. You're good. I mean, you're farther along than I am because there's another channel, Counterpunch Boxing News Round 2.
You goddamn right. So to let everybody know that, because people are probably wondering where Kurt DeVille is, let's do the logic tomorrow.
Why not?
Done deal. Done fucking deal. Y'all heard it first, so go ahead and push it out there. Counterpunch the Logic will be tomorrow. Me and Kurt gonna probably talk after the joint, see what time we're gonna get it. We'll go ahead. I will be posting that shit all over the place.
No, look. Somebody got to profit from it because I ain't profiting shit.
Man, dude. I don't even know what's I have in the what's the shit called. I haven't. Checked that shit in like 5-6 months. As far as the money that we get from through the you look at my eyes, it was no need. But y'all was getting much more better than me because I was chilling. But I got some shit over there on the side. It ain't about profiting. Dude, right now it's about boxing. And I want to make this Devin Haney and fucking Gary Russell Jr. fight work for the zone. Mm-hmm. The zone needs that fucking fight. Real talk.
Well,
what you think?
I think the sport of boxing needs that fight.
Yes.
All right, can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah, what's up?
Y'all can hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you loud now. Hold on. Peace up to Jeremy. He's been trying to get in for the last 30 minutes. But hold on 1 second. Well,
yeah, my shit was fucking me up. My bad. I'll let y'all talk.
No, go ahead. Finish, Kurt.
Well, no, what I'm saying is, the sport of boxing needs it. Business-wise, sure, I can understand what you're saying, but at the end of the day, I don't give a shit about any of that. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen.
But that's what I mean.
See, a lot of people are caught up on the networks, streaming services, or whatever it is, and in actuality, we're not getting paid for any of that shit. So I don't care what it's on. I don't care if it's a PBC thing.
Me neither. I just want to see the fight. And this is a fight at the banner that I used earlier. I believe this is a fight that, one, DAZN has nothing to lose. And I think this is a fight that the diehards, you know what I mean, will push that could spill over to the casuals. Because we will talk this fight up big time.
Right.
Well, I say DAZN needs it more because PBC, they're competing with PBC, and PBC has a monster card starting, if I'm not mistaken, this month on through the rest of the year. And DAZN don't have nothing to compete with it.
Yeah. It's crazy though. I mean, you know, you can't say DAZN's not exciting. Somebody always getting knocked the fuck out.
Man, they need to piggyback off that shit. They done got more motherfucking, I mean, you know, more marketing and more stream and more social media traffic off of course, Dylan White's failure. Then they've gotten
yo, how did he look?
Slim. Yo, they're gonna be Slim.
You were in the live stream. Do you look, when that shit happened, I lost all this shit was gone. It was done. That shit. This is Curtis Fields, Buzz Boston News. I have the news because I didn't look. I was done. My vocals were shot to shit because when Dillian White. I'm happy though. Look. This leads. Look at Mike. Look what Mike's done to the fucking sport of boxing for the boxing dead. The boxing dead is becoming resurrected. The resurrected are becoming active. The active are becoming relevant. That's what that means.
Yeah.
Look, you got Mike Tyson. Now you got fucking Chris Bird. He's scaring the shit out of me. He looks like he's, you know, like he's been hitting some shit. I don't know. He looks fucking small.
Chris Bird talking about coming back?
You didn't hear Chris Bird. Chris Bird's making a comeback. He says he's 50 years old. He will make, listen. He will make a comeback at age 50.
Damn.
He got a white chili beard. He looked like a bald-headed Santa Claus that went on a fucking keto diet. That's what he looks like.
For real. So he looks
he's like, yeah. Look, that's what I'm longing for. Smickers.
It looked like he lost a lot of weight.
Yeah, he did lose a lot of weight. It ain't look. That motherfucker has. He was a heavyweight. He probably found, I don't know, shit. He probably went veggie or something.
He went vegan.
Shit, he went veggie. He went veggie. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, the dude looks like he's bald-headed with that white chili-ass beard. He looks like a grandpa. He looks 60 and he's really 50. You know, and I don't know. You know, it's all about Mike.
All about Mike right now.
You remember we were growing up, you know, Mike, I want to be like Mike.
Yeah.
Right? I don't think that's the Mike that we were really talking about. I think everyone, boxing-wise, trying to be like Mike, James Toney, Oscar De La Hoya, Evander Holyfield. I'm waiting for Lennox Lewis. You know, I think, you know, that you know, the fights, I think I can beat all these guys. Yeah, I think you can, Lennox. Sit your ass down and smoke your blunt in peace, sir.
Hey, let Lennox come back. Jeremy, welcome to the show, man. Speak your piece, baby. Talk to us.
Hey, thank you. I was actually going to speak my piece on Gary Russell Jr. versus who was it? Devin Haney. Here's my point of view on it. You mentioned the fact that the casual fans will be able they're going to be excited about the fight like through the build up and all that.
The diehards. I think
For me,
the diehards.
Yeah,
the diehards' excitement for this fight can spill over to casuals to make this a successful event.
Yeah, exactly. But in my point of view, I think that the fight would have to benefit the fighter as well, because in reality, Devin Haney hasn't fought no one, and so has Ryan Garcia, right? Right now, I would love to see Devin Haney fight some legitimate competition so we can build up the fight between Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney. In that fight, it's almost like our modern day era of Floyd and different era, right? It's completely different, but it's almost like our modern day rivalry right there.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say is I'm trying to like let me remember quick first. Damn, I'm kind of nervous right here, man.
What are you nervous for, champ?
Wait. Okay.
But Devin Haney, Devin
shit,
Haney
I'm
is.
fucking up.
I'm sorry, Gary Russell Jr. is
Devin Haney
that
just
opponent.
doesn't need to fight Gary Russell Jr. because there's not much benefit to it, and because Gary Russell Jr. has he has such a size disadvantage. I don't really think people would give Devin Haney his due credits if he were to ever beat Gary Russell Jr.
Yeah.
That's my point of view on this.
Yeah.
Okay. I think he will get credit because whether many people say or not, Gary Russell Jr. is a top 10 pound for pound talent in the sport of boxing. And that's why he's one of the most duck fighters, top 2 or 3 duck fighters in the sport. Kurt, what you think? Let me go open the door. Counterpunch.
What's up, bro?
What you think about do you think Devin Haney would get his credit he deserved if he beats Gary Russell Jr. if that fight is to happen?
Yep. But how much would he get? Because you're gonna see, here's a problem with him fighting Gary Russell Jr. Just the same fucking problem that Gary Russell Jr. has of fighting Terrence Crawford. The only person that benefits from winning would be Gary Russell Jr. Gary Russell Jr. would be praised. Let's look at it this way. Who would benefit if Oscar De La Hoya would have knocked out Manny Pacquiao in 2008?
Oscar De La Hoya.
No, he wouldn't have. Oscar De La Hoya wouldn't have gotten
Can you hear me?
What do you mean? You don't think so?
Would he got credit of knocking out a little ass dude? The first thing I'm gonna say, he beat up a little Filipino.
Well, you probably got a point, but wasn't he coming out of retirement?
No.
But he was inactive for quite some time, though, right?
No.
Yes, he does before the Pacquiao fight.
Who did he fight before that?
A bum. I think it was it
Floyd? Floyd's a bum? Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s a bum?
He didn't after De La Hoya fought Floyd, he didn't fight just Pacquiao immediately. It was somebody between that. It was a big layoff.
I don't know who it was. I'll tell you this though.
I think it was a cigarette boy.
Who the hell is a cigarette boy?
Was it? It was either Mayorga or somebody else a bum. Well, I ain't gonna call him a bum.
Well, Mayorga knocked out Vernon Forrest, so.
Well, yeah. But then, then he went straight to cigarettes and beer after that.
Fuck cigarettes and beer. He went to fucking Coke. Fuck you mean cigarettes and beer? No, it's a little bit more. He was man. Yeah, he was Charlie Sheen in it. He probably hung out with Charlie. Charlie, where are you? Oh man, hey man, how you doing? You're blue boxing, yeah.
Man, Charlie Sheen, Charlie Sheen. Oh man. Oh boy. Oh
no, you're right. yeah, you're right. Well, Steve fucking Forbes.
Okay.
You're right.
I knew it. And what was it? And what was the dates between them joints?
Yeah, he fought him in May. Well, yeah, he fought May of 3rd. Whoa, wait a minute.
2000 what?
No, he fought in May, then he fought again in December. 2008.
So he fought Forbes in
May.
And then fought Pacquiao in December.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then what was the gap between Forbes and a fighter between that? He had probably like a year layoff, dude.
Well, I mean, he fought Mayorga in May 6th of 2006. Then he fought Floyd in May 5th of 2007. So based on the time frame,
Okay.
if hey, you can say, oh well, he didn't fight anyone. Well, shit, he was fighting a year anyway. So
Okay.
he did at least get a tune-up fight with Manny Pacquiao when he fought him. When Manny Pacquiao,
yeah, he beat the tortilla out that motherfucker. he had dry tortilla. Dude. Pacquiao beat the shit out of him.
He beat the old coke out that mouth. Yeah, man.
He say he beat. You say he beat the Resi out of him. He say he beat the B12, the vitamin B12, and the cut. He beat the vitamin B12 and the cut all out of him, huh? He was straight pure after that whipping. That's wrong. The Babs is laughing and shit.
Yeah.
But man, okay. Bet.
I'll tell you what.
What?
You know, Oscar, after that humiliating loss when he retired,
What?
He went out, was it? I think it was fucking, I want to say it was Larry King or some shit, some big dude, some big publicist and shit. And they were like, well, how did it feel for you to be outboxed and outclassed by the smaller, younger, faster Manny Pacquiao? Did he ever hurt you at all?
And what did he say?
No, he never hurt me. No, he never hurt me. Not one time.
I just like him. He says that shit all the time.
I couldn't pull the trigger. I couldn't. No.
Does he say that shit all the time? I couldn't pull the trigger. Motherfuckers be sounding like broken records. They already got to know what they're going to say. But, hey, you got to give Mayweather, De La Hoya. He navigated his career. He fought probably everybody. That motherfucker's resume, he's fought everybody. But because he was getting paid majorly off the shit. But, man, I didn't go ahead. Oh, so I'm flat like hell, tired. Want to come here and work out this freaking, whatchamacallit. So, you got a good tune-up. Jeremy, I'm not going to let you come in right now, champ, but next time, because we're going to end this joint. And so me and Kurt going to talk and put together how we're going to put this joint so it'll come out, the positive and negative charge could be explosive tomorrow. And, but people, thank you for the preview. The second time I went live on StreamYard trying to figure this shit out. It's going to be fun, up and coming. It's about to be fun on this joint. I won't be as flat as I was tonight because I had on there work with them. And now my girl is here, so I'm going to get off this. I'm going to get some damn sleep. Kurt, you go and get on that damn YouTube BI. God damn. So, but did they tell you YouTube BI? I mean, whatever you got to do in the mix, like you were saying. Is there a lot of work you're going to have to do?
You're going to have to do a whole lot of fucking counterpunching. No.
Okay.
Do a whole lot of that shit. I mean, obviously, you counterpunch somebody to the point they're going to fucking run and tell it. Yeah, you've done your job. So, yeah, pat myself on the back. Yeah, good job.
I can't believe that happened. That was Labor Day. So damn. That was this week. So, and I didn't even go back to work until Wednesday. So I was like, because the whole Labor Day was a blur. The whole weekend was a freaking blur on the beach in Ocean City. And so, damn. Come back and you got your shit fucking, ain't that some shit? These motherfuckers they got to pay. You better come.
Oh, good. No, just hit me up on the thing.
On the DM?
Yeah, hit me up on the thing.
All right, y'all. Peace and pugilism to everybody. Beautiful spirits. This is Myra Magnus. Thank you for everybody who came to the panel. Counterpunch. Boxing News, Kurt DeVille. DC3 Boom. Jeremy, everybody, peace and pugilism. Again, this is not how the show goes. As far as my lack of energy, just tired, and getting my second time going live on StreamYard, Streamlabs services, and figuring this whole kinks out of this whole thing. So I see you guys tomorrow, okay? With Counterpunch the Logic, Kurt, Counterpunch Boxing News, Kurt DeVille, Boxing Logics United, Myra Magnus. One love, peace to all. I'm out. All right? And do whatever you can. Raid and bomb all the freaking YouTube and social media networks to make the Gary Russell Jr. and Devin Haney fight happen. Why? Because boxing needs this. One love. I'm out.